Yeah, man, running through a whole lot of videos today. So yeah, yeah, be on the lookout for that. But meanwhile, just get to the game recap. So I missed the entire first half, and I catched up late in the second half of the Seahawks crushing and dominating the New England Patriots by the score of 29-13. The story pretty much was the Seattle Seahawks defense had only allowed a total of 13 points in this game. They had 6 total sacks, 3 turnovers, including a forced fumble and 2 interceptions. One went back by Nwosu for a 58-yard touchdown return from the interception that was deflected by Devin Witherspoon late in the fourth quarter. The defense held New England Patriots to way under 300 yards. They only held Ramondre Stevenson to 8 carries for like 28 yards. So he was pretty much shut down for the entirety of the game. The Seahawks defense with Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, they all were absolutely dominant throughout this entirety of this game. Just four-man stunts and four-man pressures. They only did design and delayed pressures with Devin Witherspoon or with Ime Amokawaru coming in. They completely shut down Drake May, sacked Drake May all the entirety of the game. Tariq Woolen, he was really good. Joby was really good, and also I'm just looking at the highlights right now, and pretty much the whole Seahawks entirety of the defense. Ernest Jones as well on that side of the ball was absolutely dominant. I mean, they just they completely got after Drake May. That offensive line for the Patriots could not do anything to slow down that Seahawks front. Just undoubtedly one of the most historic defensive performances you will ever see. And that was just incredible. I mean, they've been doing it this entire postseason too, this entirety of the playoffs. They were number one on the defensively in the fewest point differential, and they were tops in takeaways, and they were tops in sacks. So they get after the quarterback pretty well. And a lot of people did not really watch their games like that all season long. And so you just saw them as they pretty much took a back and took a whole halt to the of that entirety of that game. They held Drake May completely in check. And then not only that, let's look on the offensive side of the ball too, because they definitely deserve a lot of credit on that side of the ball, but mainly Kenneth Walker. It's the absolute truth. He had 29 carries for 135 yards, no touchdowns, but literally was averaging almost a little bit closer, if not a little bit over 6 yards a carry. He was just so dominant and just open holes, but it was finding open holes. But at the end of the day, his vision, his cutback ability of getting to that cutback ability, getting north and south, and then sometimes getting to the seams of the line, shooting the A and B level gaps. And his vision was so clear that he was able to see it. Now, Cooper Kupp was a difference maker, because of his veteran present experience. He had 5 catches for 50 yards. He found a way. He found a way to completely get himself. He found a way to completely get himself open. And he's been in these situations before in the Super Bowl where he has to get open because guys is gonna work on trying to slow down Shaheed and try to neutralize a little bit of Jackson Smith and Jigba out the backfield. So he had to find a way to get open. He had to find a way to get open for his quarterback Sam Darnold to really get in the ball in clear spots and clear situations. But the running game for Seattle and a dominant defense is what put them over the top and actually forced them to really get it done to win the game. So give a lot of credit to John Schneider, the GM, and front office manager. He really put together a roster. And also really give a credit to Mike McDonald, uh, Clay Kubiak, the offensive coordinator. Um, Jay Harbaugh, the special teams coach, for really instilling that in that special teams. The Seahawks really just find ways to win. They just find ways to just completely put it together. So you got to give them a lot of credit for that alone, as they really was on point every single way, left and right. Um, my thoughts is pretty much with them next season. Their defense is gonna be real. Its defense is still gonna be really intact and really in tool. So it's gonna be hard for them. It's gonna be hard for teams to go in Lumen Field, to go into Lumen Field to really take them down and beat them. You're gonna have to come in there with your best game plan, your A game plan. And we saw in a championship game with the Rams, they were one of the only few teams that threw the ball for over 300 some yards on their defense. They rushed for like 91 yards. So they were one of the only teams that was able to go down there twice and still gain an average almost over 400 some plus yards. But a lot of teams could not go into Seattle and really dominate like that. But that just goes to show you, because like I said, with four-man stunts, you don't need that much pressure. You don't need that much delayed blitzes. You don't need that much to really move the offense and move the defense and really get in the rhythm too. I mean, on both ends, you don't really need that much to really move on this defense. You just need to be consistent and sustain drive, get the little one chunk plays, and just teams wasn't able to do that. So that's gonna be a thing where, moving forward, it's gonna be a thing where can the Seahawks maintain this momentum moving forward and go into the offseason? Will they be able to re-sign guys and really retool and revamp guys? And is Sam Darnold going to be your answer for next season? Since he pretty much put the team, on his back, not necessarily throughout the postseason, but he put the team on his back in the regular season for the team to trust and believe in him, get the defense, getting their offense in the best situation, short field. Can they rely on him next season? Can he find a way to do it again? If that be the case, we'll see it. Well, they had that different class. All the jokes and all the doubts that we had on Sam Darnold, all that stuff is going to have to go away at this point, because not only he won a Super Bowl, although he didn't with the MVP, that really matters to him, but he proved a lot of people wrong, that he could actually prove that he could win the big game and get it done. But give a lot of credit to this defense. They was absolutely dominant throughout the entirety of the playoffs. They remind me a lot of those Brady years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2020. They remind me of that, but instead that was like a one-hit wonder. They're not going to be a one-hit wonder. But they remind me a lot of that defense from the Brady years in 2020 with Shaq Barrett, Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea, et cetera, with them. Jason Pierre-Paul, Levante David, Devin White now, Dave Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean. They remind me a lot of that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team at that time. So they're gonna be a problem for many moons to come, for many years to come. So I can't wait to see what they're gonna do. It's gonna be very interesting. For the New England Patriots, the thing is with them, what are they gonna do next season for them? That's gonna be the big question mark. Well, mainly the main thing for them is get a better offensive line, because man, throughout the postseason they have been absolutely just crushed and demolished. The left side of that the left tackle on that side of the ball is on that side of the offensive line has been pretty terrible. Will Campbell has not been that good, and on the other side, number 79, yeah, he can't pass block to save his life. I mean, that was just terrible. That was just terrible pass protection. So they don't have no kind of pass protection to really help out Drake May. So you can't ask him to do so much. He can't really do it. Hey, Mr. C, hey, what's going on, man? I appreciate you coming in. How you doing? How you been doing, man? What's going on? Said the Seahawks could have hung 40 plus if Kubiak decided to have Darnold roll out early on. Well, I feel like they didn't want Darnold to just really not lead without throwing the ball and not really having to throw in a pass play late in the fourth. I feel like he tried to get too cute and too fancy with that. Yeah. Yeah, I think having him scramble, I just think they try to get too cute and too fancy with that with the play calling. Yeah, I feel like that was a big hole right there. They should have never let that happen. They should have just kept running the ball because, like I said, the Patriots haven't had allowed a 100-yard rusher all this postseason, but somehow, some way, because the Seahawks offensive line, they don't get moved around, they don't get pushed around like that. So running the ball was just the best thing possible for him because there was just A's and B gaps and like good tight ends like AJ Barner. Like they had blocking tight ends so they can allow them to get creases and get in the open field. And Kenneth Walker has really good vision. So I just think running the ball would have made him a bit would did him a bit better. But like I said, sometimes Kubiak can really get too cute and too fancy with the calling because he thinks he tries to. Some of these coaches and coaching staffs and coordinators try to think they can outsmart people. You said they should have used RPO formations to tight end sets, crossing routes and dig routes underneath it to attack Ravens. Yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm getting to. Yeah, the dig routes and definitely a lot of crossing routes because that confuses the linebackers. That confuses the Mike and the outside linebackers. That confuses them, and that also confuses your dime back and also your free safety because he don't know if he's gonna be that free safety don't know if you're gonna try to do a run option with the quarterback, and then your weak side of your left end is going to of your weak side of your left end tackle. He don't know if he's gonna have to pick up the quarterback or he don't know if he's gonna pick up the runner. So that would be the thing I would have thought they would have used with the RPOs. Yeah, yeah, they can. Yeah, they can nullify. Yeah, definitely that as well. Yeah, they definitely can nullify the blitz and leave guys open. Yeah, you're right about that. And there was a lot of plays where it could have left in the middle, left in the open of the field for Smith and Jigba and Rashid Shaheed. Yeah, definitely about that. Oh, and Javier and oh, excuse me, Javier Potts. Hey, what's going on? But yeah, I think I feel like Darnold would have thrown 3 to 4 touchdowns over 300 yards passing if Kubiak had a better offensive game plan. Yeah, I think yeah, I feel like that could have been I feel like that could have been a better plan for him for Darnold to do that, but for some reason, like I said, for some reason, like I said with Kubiak, he can sometimes get too full of himself and think he can be smarter than the next person in the room to try to like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just have Donald just be a drop back quarterback instead of using RPOs. But like you said, get Donald more comfortable with the RPOs and tight end sets. That would have made him a lot more comfortable. And like you said, getting open in the middle of the field, I think that would have been better for him. Yeah, and yeah, he definitely could have thrown for that if yeah, Kubiak, I feel like kind of limited Darnold a lot in some instances because, like I said, he was 19 for 38 for 202. I'm like, I thought he would have had a lot more than I thought he would have had a lot more yards than that. And there was some throws that Darnold kind of missed, but again, like I said, the play calling just wasn't all the way there, at times. But I feel like with like I said, with them running with Kenneth Walker, kind of a little bit nullified that because he had like 135 yards on 29 carries, so that kind of like put itself a little bit better odds. But yeah, I think, like I said, I think you're right about that. If Kubiak should have had a better game plan for Darnold to go up the field, yeah. If Adam Gase was the coordinator, Seattle would have won this 45-7. The Patriots would have stopped blitzing. The Kubiak decided to make Darnold run out of the pocket from the first quarter. Yeah, because I didn't catch that. I didn't catch those parts in the first quarter. Because yeah, it started off where I didn't catch the first half or the first quarter. But I figured when it was low scoring, I figured I figured the Seahawks wasn't really moving the ball offensively like they should, and it made them more so very limited, and made them more so very lackadaisical and very predictable. Let's just say that. But yeah, you're definitely right about that, Mr. C. I definitely feel you. I definitely agree with you on that. Um, yeah, Adam Gates would have definitely had a better game plan than Kubiak, and it would have made the Patriots change up their defensive schemes. Yeah, I would have think that would have been the case. Yeah, yeah, he was. Yep, he was. Yeah, he definitely did lit up Belichick's defense. If there was one thing, it was one coach that Belichick always had trouble. There was one coordinator that had good game plans against Belichick's defenses. It definitely was Adam Gase. I can tell you that. One of the problems, of course, um, and even Eric Bieniemy with the Chiefs. He did design some good plays in the second half in that AFC Championship game, and even in the regular season. You know, with Mahomes. So yeah, Eric Bieniemy was a good coordinator as well with the Chiefs now. So they really got to throw him in there. So yeah, but yeah, no, you're right about Adam Gase though. Yeah, I definitely feel that. But all right, guys, I'm gonna get on out of here. But yeah, congrats to the Seattle Seahawks for winning Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. I'm gonna get on out of here. I think with either Adam Gase or Jim Caldwell calling this game with the Seahawks, the game would have been a blowout. I can definitely tell you that it would have been like 34-13. I would have definitely seen that happening. Yeah, especially with the Lions. Yeah, he definitely gave problems. He definitely gave problems with the Lions and Colts, with the Lions and the Indianapolis Colts, with my Colts over here. So yeah, he definitely gave problems with Manning and Pierre Garcon, Reggie Wayne, and Dallas Clark, and Austin Collie now, and Joseph Adai. He definitely gave them problems a lot. I remember that. But yeah, if any one of those three would have called in this game, it would have definitely been a blowout. I would say at least 34-13, or if not 34-10. One of the scores right there. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get on out of here, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all the people that's coming in. There was a few the ones that was watching, and thank you, Mr. C. I appreciate you coming in, and Javier as well. I appreciate you coming in, chat with me. It's been a really solid playoffs. Uh, Super Bowl wasn't really the kind that I expected. Uh, the outcome that I wanted and expected it. I thought it would have been a little bit closer, but Hey, it is what it is. I knew the Seahawks were gonna win this game, and I'm happy about that. So yeah, congrats to them, and salute to Mike McDonald, John Schneider, and the rest of the coaching staff. Salute to Kenneth Walker. And congrats to DeMarcus Lawrence, former Dallas Cowboy. Salute to him for getting the Super Bowl ring. Ernest Jones getting his second Super Bowl ring, formerly well known with the LA Rams, and of course Cooper Kupp. And salute to Sam Darnold for getting his first, and also Kenneth Walker for being the MVP. But yes, anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I am out.